Ghosts are real. That much I know.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of Thanksgiving. I know that I am a whole week late, but you guys, I'm going to be watching this on Friday, but today, Monday, I finally got the chance to go to theaters to watch this film. So here you have my review. As always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, there you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I like to give you guys the two options. And give it a little disclaimer, let's get into the video. Now, Thanksgiving is an American slasher that is directed by Eli Roth. It was officially released in theaters in the United States on November 17 of 2023 and is based on Roth's fictional trailer of the same name from Grindhouse. Now, Grindhouse is a 2007 American film that is written and directed by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. Presented as a double feature, this one combines Rodriguez's horror comedy Planet Terror and Tarantino's action thriller Death Proof. This film pays homage to the exploitation films on the 1970s, with its title deriving from the now defunct theaters that would show such films. And as part of the theatrical presentation, Grindhouse also featured fictitious exploitation trailers. That one was Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving follows after a Black Friday riot ends in a tragedy. A mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorized Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. And to give a brief summary of the film opens on Thanksgiving of 2022. We have the introduction of the characters. We have a family that they are the owners of the Mart, that will be another store for Walmart, and they're going to be having a Black Friday sale starting at midnight. We know that back in the day, Black Friday sales, they used to be huge. A lot of people doing line from hours for right at midnight. They're into a store and getting huge deals. Of course, that doesn't happen as much today, but it used to happen. So that is what is featured at the beginning of the film, and it ends up in a riot. Now, the protagonist of the film is Jessica. She is the daughter of the owner, and she lets her friends and her boyfriend into the store before everyone else. And because they see her, they get furious, so they start a riot, and this riot ends with multiple people dying. Now, a year later, the store is going to do the sale again, but a lot of people, including Jessica, are against it because they feel that they should not be doing it. And out of a sudden, a killer starts taking one by one of the people that were in the Black Friday sale. And the police believes that the next ones are Jessica and her friends, and they are not wrong. One of Jessica's friends dies. Her stepmom is killed on an oven by the killer, and it's at the end when Jessica is with the sheriff because she finds him in the road. He was being attacked by the killer. She realizes that the killer is him. He explains to Jessica that one of the victims was his mistress and that she was pregnant because she was married to another guy, and they were supposed to be together, but she died that night. So as a revenge, he has been killing all the ones that he believed that were responsible for the riot, and that includes Jessica and her friends. Luckily, Jessica and her ex-boyfriend, that comes at the right moment, are able to kill him, and they survive. And also the majority of Jessica's friends, something that I was surprised. Usually at these slashers, the majority of people died, but not here. But because the sheriff died in an explosion, the police is never able to find his remains, because they claim that because of the heat, he could have been incinerated, meaning that there's nothing left. And the film concludes with Jessica having nightmares of the sheriff or the killer going after her. And that's essentially it. Now, getting into the review, the film follows the same formula as the majority of other slashers. That's something that is going to be very easy to notice, but it's not that predictable, and it's entertaining because sometimes when you know what is going to happen, the film can turn boring. But in the case of this one, I had a little bit of trouble to guess who was the killer, but I did got it right almost at the end, but I did. But the film, similar to Scream, it has you with more than one suspect. One's a little bit more obvious than the others, but it's kind of similar. But here, for a moment, I even thought maybe it's going to be more than one killer, but no, it's just one. And it becomes obvious at the end, or at least for me. Because like I said, the film starts on Thanksgiving, and since everyone knows each other, They are on Thanksgiving dinner with friends and not just family. And one of those friends is the sheriff. When he arrives to the dinner, he gives to one of the members a pie. And he says, just because I'm single, that doesn't mean that I do not know how to use an oven. And then we have the killer using an oven to cook alive Jessica's stepmom. And I was like, that's kind of funny, the fact that we have the killer using an oven, and then we have a character that said that he knew how to use the oven even when he's single. And I know that have maybe been a little bit of a stretch, looking too deep, but that was the first thing that I noticed that made me think it could be the sheriff. So that's what lets me to believe that is the sheriff and puts him right on top of the list. And I wasn't wrong. So I felt proud of myself. But another hint of the film that he is the killer, this one, it's one that I realized it once the film ended. The film opens with the point of view of the killer. Ironically, the point of view that we're watching is the sheriff, because the film opens similar to Halloween of 1978. We have the camera pointing to the door and someone approaching it. But when they ring the bell and we switch the angle, we have the sheriff, that is the killer. So I found it very funny, and the irony of everything, and also the fact that it's similar to Halloween because the point of view that we're watching is Michael, that is also the killer. Another thing that I found similar to other slasher films was the ending. We have a moment when we have a fireman that is using a mask and kind of gives you the hint that could be him and that he could be alive. This one reminds me to the ending of My Bloody Valentine, when we have the character that is the killer. He gets out of the mines, but he takes out the mask and we know that he is alive. Here I thought maybe they're going to do that, maybe not, but I found them kind of similar. And the final scene reminded me to the prom night of 2008, because we have Donna, that is the protagonist. She has her boyfriend on her side, but he's not moving. And when she pushes him, he is dead. And she goes to the closet because she believes that the killer is on the outside, but the killer is actually waiting for her inside of the closet. So when we have Jessica with her boyfriend on her bed and she is looking to the closet, for a moment I thought maybe they're going to be doing the same thing, but no, they didn't. But for me, they were kind of similar, so I thought that was like a good hint, although I don't know if they made it on purpose, but I found the scenes to be kind of similar. And another scene that I saw that were similar to a very famous one is when we have Jessica and her friends on the diner and we have the killer on the outside looking at her and having the mask. And it reminds me when Michael is stalking Laurie and we see him throughout the window of the classroom. So those are a few things that I found that were similar in terms of previous slashers. Maybe I missed another one, but I do not remember right now. Now, when it comes to the characters, something that I really like it is the way that they were written, because I felt that I was watching actual teenagers. It's common to see projects that they portray teenagers in a way that we know that is very unrealistic. Although it's not horror, a huge example is the HBO TV show Euphoria. They're supposed to be teenagers, but they're doing things that, honestly, yes, I get that some teenagers are doing some of the stuff that they show on the series, but not that way. And also the way that they are portrayed and the fact that they look so old. Here, although the majority of them, they are older than they're supposed to be, I felt that the way that they were dressed, portrayed, how they speak, mannerisms, all of the details, although they can be insignificant, I felt that I was actually watching teenagers. And also the script. The actors, they aren't the best ones out there. They give pretty average performances, but they are able to do a good job because we're having a very good script and a good director. And also, I found that these characters were charismatic enough for me to like them and care for them, because we know a little bit of everyone, enough for us to care for what will happen to them. Because something that happens is that you're going to be watching a film and you could care less what is going to happen to a certain character. Here, I feel that they took their time, not that much, but they took a time for you to learn about them, to know them, for you to care enough for what is going to happen at the end. So I think that there they created a balance. They didn't spend too much time introducing their characters, but they weren't so fast that things weren't out of nowhere and we didn't understand them. So for that, I think that they did a good job. The reality is that at the end, for me, the film, it's silly, it's a little bit cheesy, predictable, gory, but fun. Because in Eli Roth's spirit, the film is gory, brutal, grotesque, explicit, violent, a lot of stuff from the very first moment. Those first 15 minutes, that riot, there is a scene that includes hair and a shopping cart. I felt that in my soul. Definitely that hurt. And all the deaths, I think that they were pretty creative and of course gory as hell, and they were pretty explicit. So I was expecting that. I mean, it's Eli Roth, but I did like it. The reality is that I enjoyed the film. I had such a good time. And I feel that it's a film that you could sit down and watch either alone or maybe with your friends if you want to have a good time. It's definitely a worth watching film and a very fun slasher. And it's, in my personal opinion, one of the best horror films, if not the best horror film that Eli Roth has done yet. Because I really like his films. I know that there's some people that does not like him, but I do like his films. But this one, I definitely believe that he did a little bit better, and it can be considered one of his best ones. I will have to sit down and rewatch every single one of his horror films in order for me to give the actual answer, but for me, this one is top 3 at least. So for me, at the end, this film, in terms of rating, will be a 4 out of 5 and an 8 out of 10. It fulfilled my expectations. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece, but I wasn't expecting it to be bad. So it was what I was expecting, just a slasher to have fun. And I think that this is all. Well, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below if you watched this film, what do you thought about it? Did you like it? You didn't? Do you like Eli Roth's work? Like I said, I know that there's a lot of people that does not like him. That is not my case. I enjoy his films. They may be silly, a lot of blood, but they are enjoyable, at least for me. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.
Close to real. That much I know.